Alrighty guys, what is going on? It's your boy Joe Snake Guys coming back at you with another video, and today I want to talk about something that's a little different from this channel. I have done it a couple times, but not very often, as you guys can see, most likely by the title and thumbnail. I'm going to be talking about She-Hulk. The only reason why I want to talk about She-Hulk was because of the fact that this show is bad. Hey, it truly is bad. I think it does a disservice to She-Hulk as the character. I'm gonna be fair. I didn't really read many She-Hulk comics, if any. I don't think I read any She-Hulk comics. I just know from what people who have read comics, so I can't say about how much she is actually close to her comic book counterpart. But with that being said, I'm taking She-Hulk, the show, Attorney at Law, as it is on Disney Plus. What we got, the 9 episodes, all of that. I'm not gonna talk about like the whole season, but primarily the finale, because the finale itself, I think, was a terrible way to end the show. And so I want to talk about that. But first, if you guys actually want to see me do more reviews on whether it be games, TV shows, movies, whatever, let me know in the comments down below. And let me know if you guys actually watch the show and your thoughts on it in the comments down below. But consider hitting that subscribe button and click the notification button to stay tuned for any future videos here on this channel. But with that being said, let's talk about She-Hulk. Jen Walters. Listen, from the get-go, the show, it's been all right. I can watch it. I wouldn't personally turn it on myself if like I wanted to watch a show, especially a law show or a comedy show. I would not turn this on. I would literally turn on Daredevil because that has more law inside of it. The comedy is even just a little bit better. Daredevil is a better show, better attorney, better law show, everything. Okay, and it's funny that Daredevil is in this show, but with all She-Hulk did between the first and 8 episodes, whatever, it was fine. I would say to still give it a try if you guys want to watch it. Like if there's some part of you that likes She-Hulk or that wants to see a law comedy show, it's not really either of those. It has its moments, but it's like, don't go in there expecting a certain law show or expecting a certain comedy, because it kind of falls flat in both areas, at least for me personally. But hey, if you're somebody maybe in your mid 40s, most likely if you're a woman, you might like this show, because I think this show is geared towards that demographic and not an average 24-year-old guy who watches comic book shows, because this show does not cater to me, and I'm pretty sure the writers established that. But with that being said, like I said, you guys can watch other reviews on the whole season as a whole. I mainly just want to talk about the finale, because up to that point, it was fine. You know, they said it was okay with last episode. They showed Daredevil with the episode before that. It was like I forgot exactly what the episode, but the one with Emil Blonsky and that whole retreat, it was fine. It was okay. I didn't mind it. But the finale, they really dropped the ball with this one. I can't honestly sit here and look at Twitter and look at the reactions. People saying it's a good show because of what they did, because it is honestly not a good like show. If you take it as the show it is, from start to finish, it's not good. There's no cohesiveness though. There is no start to finish. But it's not good. Okay, and let me give you the reasons why. So this show decided to go through the whole fourth wall break. Just they went full force into that fourth wall break. If you guys aren't aware, She-Hulk from the comics does break the fourth wall, and I'm pretty sure occasionally she does rip out the comic book pages and be like, hey, what are you guys doing back there? What are the writers doing back there? Like, she talks to us, like in the actual physical world that we are in, she talks to us. And they basically did what she did in the comics in here, and except obviously breaking through comic books, she broke through the Disney Plus main menu, went to like Marvel's Assembled, went into our physical world is what it's supposed to be, because she ran to the writers of the show. You can actually see the main writer in the back. She doesn't say anything, but she's there. She does all that. She talks to Kevin, which is Kevin Feige. He's the head honcho of Marvel's right now. It's a robot, and she talks to him. She's like, hey, are you the one running things here? And he's just there like, yeah, I do everything, blah, blah, whatever. Okay, it had this moment. It was cool. The fourth wall break, cool, fine, right? But she's like, hey, the whole plot line with Todd being a Hulk now, scrap it. My cousin coming to break through randomly, scrap it. Abomination, tone him down a bit. And then she's just like, oh, and by the way, I want Daredevil to come back because I want some dick. That's not because, oh, I liked talking to him, or maybe I can get some pointers from his side of the law and how he sees it and how he beat me in a case. No. I want him for dick, for some sex, for something to sit on. Okay, so she changes all these things. Even changed the nighttime to daytime, right? And then it just cuts back. And then everything is all fine and dandy. Her problem is solved. Prior to that happening, like the whole setup to that point just doesn't matter. It honestly, like there's no point of watching that episode because none of it mattered. In the previous episode, right, she went to the Met Gala. She was trying to get an award, right, for best female lawyer. And the bad guys, the people behind the screens, whatnot, leaked all her information, her bills, her sex life, her Tinder profile, all this. She got mad. Oh, I am Hulk, right? She does all that. There's some people with guns come in and basically arrest her. And the start of this episode, she wakes up in that prison and they're like, oh yeah, so we have a deal for you. You just, you're not gonna be able to turn into Hulk. That's the deal. You can leave, but no more Hulk. And she was like, oh, I was just getting used to balancing my Hulk Jennifer life. I was just getting used to balancing it all. So she's just going through with the repercussions of her actions. Paparazzi everywhere, interviews everywhere. She can't turn into Hulk. She has to be live. I think she lost her job. She had to move out because she couldn't find a job because of all the backlash and all the negativity surrounding Angry She-Hulk, right? All that happened. All of that happens. All of the bad things are piling up. And this is why I don't like the finale. You give us all of this string of bad luck, the consequences of her actions, for her not controlling her powers and her possibly causing injury to regular people. Understandable. Consequences. With great power comes great responsibility. And how does she solve it? How does Jennifer Walters, how does She-Hulk solve this issue? There was literally a scene where Jen's like, we gotta do this. We gotta take these people down with the law. And her friend's like, by any means necessary? It was funny. It was kind of funny. She's like, but by any means, that was a funny little line. But Jennifer is like, no, with the law. We gotta do it with the law. We're not doing it all. Come to the finale. Completely scrapped. Completely scrapped. You know why? Because Jennifer Walters doesn't do anything with the law. She-Hulk doesn't do anything with her powers or with her law. She didn't do anything. Literally, what they set up did not matter. It did not matter. There was no reason for us to watch her go on a downward spiral. If she's just gonna turn around, come into our world and be like, hey, let's change this, let's make it good again, and not actually use any law, anything related to the law in any single way. She did not use it in any single way besides Todd getting arrested and then going to court in the after credit, like a picture scene. But in the actual runtime between the start of the show and the end credits, there was nothing related to law. When your name is She-Hulk, attorney at law, but even the last episode does not have anything related to the law, then what show is it? Then what type of show are we watching? Every case she had, she fucking lost. Basically lost. This show is a joke. The writers made this show a joke, whether it's because they don't know how to write it, maybe it's for a specific reason, I don't know, but whatever happened in the writer's room, in the producer room, whatever happened, they should have scrapped this idea and gave it to somebody else, because this is a bad representation of She-Hulk. Attorney at law. They totally just scrapped attorney at law. And that's what I don't understand, how people are saying it's actually a good show, because there is no show. If this character can just break into our world and change things with no problem, no consequences to her actions, no repercussions to her actions, no thinking about, okay, if I do this, is this gonna change anything? Nothing. Literally no problem whatsoever. Why didn't she do that with any of the previous episodes, with any of her previous issues? Why not? Oh, but now it's getting too much. Let me do it now. Let me break the fourth wall now. I will say the meta commentary, funny. I will say the meta commentary, the jokes, it was funny. A little chuckle here and there. I get it. You make fun of yourself. I get it. That doesn't make the show good just to be like, hey, yeah, I know our writing wasn't the best. I know this thing wasn't the best, but we're just gonna change it because she did in the comics. If she did in the comics, we could do it here and it's gonna be all fine because hey, she did it in the comics. That doesn't make it good, a good show, because if you realize, right, if she could just break the fourth wall again with every issue she has saying too much, this is my show, then what did we watch for the past 8 episodes? Like realistically, what did we watch if by the end of it, what everything was kind of culminating to? That's what the finale is everything's culminating to this. The bloodline subplot was there from like the 4th fucking episode, just weave through, and then just to be pushed away because Jenna's like, hey, this is my show, I can run things. It's like, fuck us. Apparently, like the viewers just. You guys remember that? The whole plot we did with the whole girl trying to find a good man, and then the guy from the wedding is the guy who took their blood, but then we never saw him again, and it's just, oh yeah, you remember all that? Well, it doesn't matter. There are good parts of the show, there are, but just the finale being as bad as it was in terms of it not resolving literally anything, that's what I'm saying when it's a bad show. Like imagine Deadpool, who, as you guys know, hopefully you guys know, breaks the fourth wall kind of consistently, talks to the camera often. What if he did the same thing like how we did in X-Men 2 when he had the time travel device and he went back to the like Fox universe, killed the other Deadpool, and I think he was thinking about killing baby Hitler, stuff like that, right? He did it. It was jokes. It was nothing related to our story necessarily because he didn't affect anything like really in his world that he was in. But imagine if he just broke through and it was like, Cable, I'm just have you. Let me just erase you real quick. Let me just wipe you off the board. Let me just go into the writer room and talk to them real quick and be like, hey, we don't want him here. Can we just kick him out, or can we just like speed this? Like, imagine watching a movie and then him just be, oh no, I can change this with no issues, no repercussions, no problem whatsoever. And one thing I just want to bring up, as much as I love Daredevil, Charlie Cox's Daredevil, as much as I loved seeing him in the show, bringing him back at the finale makes no sense. None whatsoever. Because the prior episode, they said, hey, I have to leave for New York in the morning, go back. That's why they had the one night stand, because he left in the morning, he did the walk of shame, and presumably he left. At least that's what was set up. He was there for one more night. He didn't. Okay, let's imagine Daredevil back in New York. And then She-Hulk's like, hey, I want him back. What happens to Daredevil? And what if he's in the middle of a fight? What if he's doing something and he's just back in LA? And then like there was nothing, like there's no, like think it through. What does that imply? Because once he came back, it was in fact what was happening now. Like the reality now was that he's back because he spent time with their family. He met everybody, met Hulk, his son, which is pretty cool. That's a whole setup. That one, I'm like, yes, bring it back. Bring us a Hulk, maybe. That'd be good. But Daredevil, does he like not remember? Is he not like, oh, how'd I get here? Or what happened? Like, did she just warp reality? Like she, I guess, technically just warped reality. Because if Daredevil was doing something, but then not doing that something anymore, what does that mean? Like, does that mean she could just be like, hey, let's make every guy in my world a nice guy, a lovable guy, a charismatic guy. Let's have no fuckboys, no mansplaining. Let's have none of that. Couldn't she just do that? You telling me if she had that power to change things, she's just like, oh, just bring Daredevil back because I want some goddamn dick again. That dick must have been A1 Daredevil. Like, it was not a good finale. I don't know how people can watch this finale and be like, it was good. I enjoyed this finale to this show that we've been watching for the past 8 weeks. The meta commentary is fine. It's fine. But to see it as a finale to whatever we've been watching, it's lackluster. There's no weight. There's nothing for me to be like, oh, so this was all worth it. Because none of it was worth it. Watching the whole show was not worth it. Unless I need to talk to somebody who like thoroughly enjoys this show for what it is and to explain to me why it's a good show, because it's not. The finale is not good for the show. What the show was trying to be did not work. What they were doing did not work. There were things that worked. This show was only good because of more or less Wong was in there, Hulk was in there, Abomination was in there, Daredevil was in there, and they were just milking it. Because they knew that their show was bad and they couldn't make the show without any of those characters. Hulk is an exception. Daredevil, we thought because attorney, law, we figured. If they were just using the show to set up future stuff, by all means. But don't be like, this is my show. Is it? Is it your show if Daredevil's still in the spotlight and for 2 episodes? If every time we see Hulk, we're like, oh yeah, just Hulk is better. Abomination, his character is literally better than yours. Wong, at least he had some comedic moments. Like, how is it your show? It's not. If you have to rely so much on cameos and callbacks and I guess meta commentary now. I don't know. This video's gone long enough. I had to get off my chest because I was truly disappointed by this show. Specifically, the finale, not satisfying, not good. It meant nothing. She didn't learn anything. She didn't overcome anything. She didn't solve anything. She didn't do anything, not even with Law. She did nothing besides talk to the writers or Kevin and be like, hey, yeah, just change this. Really? Just like Deadpool said, that's just lazy writing. And it was.